A new report out this morning from Food Banks Canada says this country's hunger crisis is worsening at an accelerated pace. The organization says there were 2.2 million monthly visits to Canadian food banks in March of this year. That's 5% higher than March of last year and nearly double the number of visits since March of 2019. Meagan Fitzpatrick combed through the report and brings us the key findings.
Yeah, and this is an annual report that comes out every year, and it aims to capture a snapshot of monthly visits to food banks within the Food Banks Canada network. And so they do this every March. And for this year, that key number is that there were more than 2 million visits to food banks in their network in that month alone. And Hillary, this is another record high. It's beating the record that was set last year that was reported by Food Banks Canada. It's about a 5.2% increase from last year, but a 99% increase from just a couple years ago in 2019. So we see again in this report the need for food banks just increasing year after year. This report takes a look at who is using food banks, and this report saying the fastest growing group that is turning to food banks as a source of food are employed people. It says 19.4% of clients in that month of March have jobs, and that is up from last year as well, and again up quite a bit from just a couple years ago. Newcomers to Canada also represent a significant number of food bank users, 34%. Seniors is another growing group as well. The report noting many rely on government pensions for their income, and the amount from their pensions just not keeping up with that increased cost of living. And the cost of housing and the cost of food are the two top reasons that these food bank clients cite as the need to go to food banks. Just not keeping their wages, their incomes, if they're on social assistance, not keeping up with those increasing costs. And there are fears, they say in this report, that with rising unemployment, economic uncertainty due to the tariffs and trade war, that the need for food banks could go even higher than it already is. And it's very high. Obviously.
Very high. And it sounds like based on the numbers you have, 1 in 5 food bank users have jobs, which is quite a staggering number. How are food banks keeping up with that demand?
Well, certainly, as this report points out, the demand for food banks outstripping the supply of food they have to offer clients. They are struggling with this increased demand. The report, according to the survey that they send out to their members, saying sometimes the food banks are giving out less food to clients to help more people and stretch the food that they have further. Sometimes they run out of food completely, and that's happening more often than it used to. Sometimes there's a lack of volunteers or staff to distribute the food and coordinate all of that. And when it comes to donations, well, again, they're just not getting enough food donations to meet the demand. So food banks end up having to spend cash, money, to buy food to give to clients. And they're doing that more and more. There's statistics in this report about how much they're spending. And again, fears because of economic uncertainty, right? So if people are struggling, they may have less disposable cash to donate. They may be hanging on to their money a bit more because of fear of what might be coming up, if they might be losing their jobs. So food banks definitely concerned about how they can help people. And they say that this is just not sustainable. And there are a number of policy recommendations in this report aimed at governments, calling for them to do things like reform the unemployment insurance or employment insurance program, disability supports, and also particularly addressing food insecurity in Canada's north. There's a whole section in this report about that. So a number of policy recommendations. We'll be speaking to people from Toronto's Daily Bread Food Bank today, as well as representatives for Food Banks Canada, to dig in deeper to this report.
Meagan Fitzpatrick reporting. Thank you.